Hey guys, hey internet guys, hey guys. Wait a minute, hold on. Mr. Lobo,
Yeah.
am I allowed to say internet guys?
No, that's just for the YouTube videos, Paul. Not on Facebook. On Facebook, everyone is a gender-neutral friend.
All right, hey, gender neutral friend. How you doing, guys? We're doing a little bit behind the scenes here of Cinema Insomnia. I know you guys have been waiting really long. This is, of course, Paul Sanders, otherwise known as the Pants' producer if you listen to the podcast, which you should. I want to show you a little bit of what's going on here at my station here. I'm in charge of making sure that everything runs smoothly. And again, if you listen to the podcast,
it's not.
Nope. So here's the control board. Take a look at all that work. Holy cow. And then we come over here, and here's everything we got done in January. Lot of work. And you think that's a lot of work. You should really check out February. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out, or maybe I shouldn't show this. I think I might be ruining the space-time continuum in some way. I mean, I'm sure there's time that would be figuring this out. Top men. So I'm going to throw it over to Aaron, and he's going to tell you a little bit about him. Here's our director.
Hi, so I'm Aaron Lane, directing this episode of Cinema Insomnia, American Werewolf and somewhere. So we're going to show you a little behind the scenes. You'll get to see us shooting a take of the show in a minute. We got started a little late, so we're only a few episodes in, but we've been going till like 6 o'clock in the morning every night to try and make up for lost time. And
Hit the reverse key.
Okay, not on this phone. I think that's it. All right, and so there's Mr. Lobo on the Cinema Insomnia set.
Hey, everyone. Okay. I'm the Sagittarius, and I'm excited to meet all of you.
Ready to sleep?
Sure.
Okay. Get to see a scene. Ready? Beast of the Yellow Knight, Scene 1, Rap 1A, Take 2.
Tonight's feature is in Drive-In Vision. Nothing enhances the effect of an obscure movie better than an obscured view. Now, to complete the illusion, all you need are some Matchbox cars or Hot Wheels. Line them up just like this, quite simply, in front of your television screen. Yeah, that's the experience, all right. Drive-In Vision. I'm your host, Mr. Lobo. Wolfsploitation was big drive-in fare. Although I have to admit, some of the rumors, the stereotypes, were accurate. I can say this because Mr. Lobo used to struggle with lycanthropy. My college roommate and I used to tear it up back in the day. I remember waking up in a kennel wearing nothing but pajama bottoms and a Hearts 2-in-1 flea collar. It was a dark time in Mr. Lobo's life. It got so bad that the dean of my school confiscated my mortal soul, but Mr. Lobo is now a recovering werewolf. We go to meetings, and I always carry with me my 20-year chip. We laugh now about those hairy, party-hardy, bite-and-run days of the 1980s. As for tonight's feature, two college pals go abroad on a hiking tour of Britain and are attacked by a half-man, half-beast that none of the locals will admit exists in the 1981 half-horror, half-comedy American Werewolf in London.
All right.
Let's bring it over here to Lobo. Maybe we can see
Are we
here.
really showing the
we're showing this stuff.
London?
Shoot! Don't look at that. Spoilers.
Paul, what are you doing?
Spoilers. Hold on. How do I switch this over? How do I flip this back? Here we go. Here we go.
I hate doing this behind the scenes stuff. It always just ruins the magic.
I was actually doing when I had the camera.
This is Mr. Lobo. I hope you're all enjoying this little peek at what happens behind the scenes here at Cinema Insomnia. This, of course, was only our first take for the intro for this film.
that we're AKAing American Werewolf in the... And you'll see what the means when you actually see the episode. This, of course, is one of our little props that we made with your Patreon funds. This is Drive-In Vision. It looks like a pair of 3D glasses, but you get the illusion that you're also sitting in a convertible looking at the screen through a windshield, through a screen, something like that. But there's the Drive-In Vision. This is the TV set. I don't know if you can see that. Is that? There it is. Can you see that? Whoa. Whoa. Sorry, everyone. I'm not good at this. There it is. There's a TV set there with little cars in front. And, you know, all of these things need to be acquired. Broken down carts and million-year-old TV sets. Do we have any questions for Mr. Lobo? I know I have a lot of questions.
Jeffrey Allen Arnett says, are all systems go?
All systems are whatever.
He also wants to know, are all systems Lobo?
All systems are Lobo. All systems are slow, actually. But plowing ahead, you know, I mean, this stuff is a lot more difficult than it looks. Not as hard as it is to watch, but it is almost as difficult to do, for us to do, as it is for you to watch it.
It's very painful for us back here. We're watching TV. My God. Jeffrey also says, good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel J. Sweet says, love it.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Jeffrey again says, love the Drive-In Vision.
Thank you. Thank you. This was, Mr. Lobo spared no expense. I used almost all the Scotch tape in the house to construct the Drive-In Vision.
Rowdy says, small studio.
Very small. This isn't really a studio. This is just where we're shooting. We need to get those Patreon numbers up so we can rent an actual studio.
Rowdy also wants to know, is life worth living? And what if it is with Gamera?
Is life worth living? Life is worth living if you're on a budget. I think that Gamera, well, we can't say Gamera anymore, right? So Super Turtle. So life is worth living if you've got if your standards are low, and two, if you have got Super Turtle on your side. Which we all do, right? We all have a little Super Turtle inside of us, each and every one of us.
Wants to know, is Paul really wearing pants?
Paul, you know, I make a lot of jokes about Paul not wearing pants. I don't want you to think that Paul's family jewels are to the four winds. Paul, what happened? Oh, I can't have it this way. I got to have it this way. Paul actually just doesn't wear proper pants. Paul wears like sweats and cargo shorts and a Speedo sometimes. Thong, but yeah, you know, he just likes to be comfortable. Mr. Lobo doesn't do casual well, so you know, he's kind of he hangs out his yang and I hang out my yin, and you know, we sort of we're two sides of the same trouser universe.
Wow.
What else is happening?
Rowdy says, I thought we all had a little bit of Elvis inside of us.
Yes, we all have a little Elvis and Super Turtle, both. They're fighting it out in there. They both are fighting over that same peanut butter sandwich.
What's it like to work with Aaron M. Lane?
Aaron M. Lane is a ray of sunshine.
Liar.
He always has a kind word. He's never self-deprecating. He doesn't work himself too hard. He always remembers to eat meals and be courteous. But actually, I feel like Aaron really helped put a foot up Mr. Lobo's backside, which was something that was really necessary. So we certainly couldn't have done this without him. And Paul has been amazing. I think I have two of the best producers in the business helping, propping Mr. Lobo up with toothpicks. So this has been a great experience. We literally have, Paul's been here for 3 weeks and Aaron's been here for 2 weeks, you know, and the fact that we haven't all killed each other really says a lot to and it says a lot about their fortitude and their patience.
Twist and we're all dead the whole time.
But Aaron is incredibly talented. You know, really, Mr. Lobo's just getting in the way. I sort of feel like Aaron would have already finished the season by now by himself. if he didn't have to rely on Mr. Lobo.
Just one episode without everybody.
Yeah, I think Aaron actually made a couple episodes without Mr. Lobo, just while he was waiting for me to get my act together.
Moxie says, heart, 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 and a wave. So here's a wave.
Hey, Moxie. I think, hold on a second. Well, there might be a little Moxie Easter egg in one of these upcoming episodes to look for.
Rewinds a little bit. She might see a little Easter egg.
Yeah, maybe. It might be. It might be in that video, perhaps. You might have seen it. Did you spoil it?
I think so. I think we have to reshoot it now.
But we're big fans of you, Moxie. So thank you for all the attention, and thanks for saving our fat out of the fire when we woke up with $2 that one day. But don't worry, as Aaron said, that all of that $2 was up on the screen. You really do see that $2 when you're watching the show. I guess I look better like that.
Spared every expense.
Yes, we incurred no expense to make this for you.
Let's give it.
Any other questions?
One more minute for questions.
Mm-hmm.
But, any other? Do you want to do any more special thanks?
I want to thank our Patreon supporters. I mean, we I know that the show looks cheap, but just feeding these guys costs a lot of money, and all of the therapy and the meds that we're all on, it's all expensive. So your support really does make it possible for us to keep doing these shows for you. Airline tickets, yeah, and Aaron is already. This is how much of a masochist Aaron is. He's already talking about coming back to make more shows, and he hasn't even left yet. So that speaks well for more shows in the future. But Aaron was essential back in California, putting together the old show, and it's great having him out here. I feel like we have the Cinema Insomnia super team assembled here between Dixie's artwork ability and Paul's producing abilities and Aaron behind the camera, and it's really been a great experience for me. I'm very, very thankful.
Put up a thing for final questions.
Final questions, anyone? Any other teases? Ooh, yes. Here, I'll show you my armpit. No, teases. What do you think, guys? I mean, I'm terrible at this. Do we want to let them have anything as far as what movies that we might do? We definitely will be doing a movie that may or may not contain a creature that lives in a swamp. And there may or may not be a sexy swamp trash lady as a real 7 girl in that same episode.
Superman and Batman may appear in one of our...
Or not.
Yes, Superman and Batman, or some sort of Superman and Batman type entity from another country where copyrights are loose might also be an ingredient in a future episode. Any other hints we want to drop about the new season?
Paul may or may not wear pants.
Paul may actually put on some real damn pants for a change.
Or may not.
Paul actually played a creature in one of these episodes that we shot.
I played multiple creatures.
We're also doing a tribute to Video Store, so there will be an episode that is shot inside one of the largest remaining video stores on the East Coast. Any other things we want to tease?
All right. Moxie says, you guys are inspirational. Your dedication is spectacular. I love you guys too. Come to Moorhead.
Come to Moorhead. That just sounds so dirty, Moxie. But yes, that's in North Carolina, for those of you who don't know. We'd love to come to Moorhead. Maybe we'll bring Sleazy P. Martini and do a visit. I don't know if we'll do Mad Monster Party this time. I've heard that they're a little more into Freddy Krueger than Frankenstein, which isn't a bad thing, but
There's actually a little bit of a hint.
Although there are, yeah, that's true.
Our future episodes.
But if we're welcome, we'll try to do any convention that we can. Wherever our fans are, we will try and be.
Roddy saw an autograph pic of Bob Wilkins in a comic shop in Santa Cruz.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have something here. Hey, hand me that thing that's underneath Romana. Yeah. Here you go. Well, that's a nice piece of Bob Wilkins memorabilia. This is another. I don't know if you can see this. This is Bob Wilkins' tie. There's magic glowing off of it. You can see Bob Wilkins wearing this on the old Creature Features show in a few episodes. We've shown the Bob Wilkins Super Horror Show where Bob is wearing this. And if you've ever seen Bob Wilkins doing the Monster Movie Quiz, he's also wearing this tie. And Mr. Lobo is wearing this tie in our Nightmare in Blood episode. And perhaps, I think, maybe Frankenstein versus the Creature, or maybe Nonstop Movie Party. I don't know. But I've worn this a few times. And but this Bob Wilkins gave me all of his neckties. And this is the only one that really fits Mr. Lobo. The other ties Bob had, he cut the backs of because he was such a short man that he didn't want the other part of his tie, his little the skinny part of the tie sticking out of the bottom. So he snipped all his ties real short, so they're little too short for Mr. Lobo to wear most of. But for whatever reason, I think this is probably his favorite. He did not. Paul didn't deface it either because I would have killed him. But Bob Wilkins kept this one long, and so Mr. Lobo can actually wear it. But Bob was my inspiration, certainly, and he said, you should sit in a chair and host movies. And I said, Bob, why is the chair so important? But apparently the chair is a part of it.
All right, Daniel says, looking forward to the new season. And that sounds like a good way to exit the...
Yes, and I'm looking forward to the new season too. And we're a little tear-stained and battle-weary, but we are still plugging ahead. I mean, the footage that we've shot so far looks fantastic. I think it's some of the best-looking material that we've done. And I'm still working on getting funnier. Mr. Lobo's shaking the rust off, but it has been a great. I wish we could just do this day in and day out all year long because we are having a blast. But we are going to need to get some sleep at some point, I think. But thank you so much, Mr. Lobo. Appreciates your support. The most important thing that you give us is your time. If you watch an episode of Cinema Insomnia, you're spending 2 hours a week with us, and that is more important than any amount of money, worth its weight in gold, certainly. And certainly worth more than just these movies are. So thank you. Appreciate all of the love and the appreciation. And I'm terrible at social media. I hate all of this, but I'm doing this for you. I'm being more accessible for you so that you know how special you are to me. So. They're not bad movies, just misunderstood. And Paul, come over here and take this contraption away from me.
Yeah, good. Now let's see here. How do I do this now? Oh shoot, I'm showing off more stuff here.
Paul, you are the worst. You're showing people our house.
Finish.